Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Novak, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. Today we're going to do one of the most easiest trees to bonsai. And for you seniors, you young at heart, this is going to be a very easy tree. I love these trees. You get an excellent foliage on them. You get beautiful flowers with them. I mean, they're very hardy, very hardy. But the only place I will order these Crape Myrtles is from Clinton Compton, the Crape Myrtle guy. I mean, his plants are superb. I mean, I tried every place else. I don't get no endorsements from him, but I tried every other place to get Crape Myrtles to grow, and this is the only person that has a good crop, a good variety of excellent plants to start on. Now, this is a Crape Myrtle called Siren, and you can see how nice it's going to grow. Right now it's fall, so the leaves are getting fallen off, but what I'm going to do is in the dead of winter I'm going to clip it back to this node right here so I can have it bush out more and get new flowers on new growth. So every time you get new growth, you get nice beautiful flowers on these, and Siren Red is supposed to be a nice red flower. Now here's a forest. Now I'm using pea gravel, real small gravel, to simulate water, and these are Pocomoke from Clinton Compton. Now the bonus I got with his Pocomoke is he had suckers growing on some of his plants he got, and them suckers were attached to one root. So I took the plant, put it in a cheap tray that you get for free at Lowe's or any place else that are giving away these 12 packs of trays, and you just put them in there, and you wouldn't believe it, these things rooted all the way. That's how I made this forest. I'll take this apart later and show you the roots on this. But what I want to do is, with the Crape Myrtles, you can simulate anything. I got this blue crystals from Michael's to simulate water, but you don't have to use that. Use these little pebbles. Just I gotta look it up. It's Peace River. It's from Supernaturals, and it makes a beautiful, beautiful scenery. Like, it simulates water. And unlike other bonsai trees that you see in the store, these are all glued in. Mine's not. The best way to keep them centered in your pot is just to wet them. Now, as an accent plant, I took this little basket that was on sale at the dollar store for $1. And what I did is I put a little rabbit in there, and this is some kind of aqua grass it's called. I don't know what it is, but it looks cute coming up. But it's good to accent your water features, just as an accent plant. But let's get back to the Crape Myrtles and Clinton Compton's plants. Right now we're going to do a Pocomoke, and we're going to take it apart and see how the roots look. I'll do one. I'll take it apart. Put the pot down. Now you can see the beautiful roots. This being fall, the top's not growing, but look at your root system growing. You got all these little white roots. That's all growing. It's all new growth. Look how nice this plant looks. Later on, when it gets cold out, I'm going to, in the dead of winter, I'll step them back so I can bush it out some more, because the more branches I get, the thicker the trunk will grow. I want that trunk to grow, and I want this plant to get a lot of vigor. So right now we'll take it apart, and let's see what we got here. What I'm using is just a chopstick. Just pulling away the soil. And I mean, chopsticks are cheap and easy to get. If you go to a Chinese restaurant, they got plenty of chopsticks, or a Japanese restaurant. But I mean, I love these trees. These trees, no matter what you do to them, they come back to life. My friend had his Pocomoke growing, and it was doing real poorly because he wasn't watering it. He had two of them. One I saved, but the other one was so dried out that it didn't survive, sadly to say. But the other one, I scratched the bark and it still had some green in it. I watered it real good, and it really turned out really nice. It grew like you wouldn't believe. It took about a month, but it grew. There's a lot of nice root system. Beautiful roots here. Beautiful roots. That's one thing with Clint's plants. He always gets a good root system. Not like these other places that I go that I tried and you hardly see any roots. Take all that out. Put the soil here. Collect it. Now don't be afraid of getting your hands dirty. And don't be afraid to try this plant, because this will reward you twofold. Leaves, foliage, flowers. You wouldn't believe the flowers. I can't believe the flowers when this thing flowers. I'm gonna make a video right away in the spring so you can see it, or in the summer, because it flowers on new growth, but it's really good, really good. Now this one doesn't have any suckers, but it's okay. We're just getting a lot of this old soil off. Now look at these roots. This is a beautiful root system. I mean, really, really good. And we're not going to take a lot of roots off, maybe about a third, so we can get it in a small pot. And the beauty about fall planting is that the roots grow. Even though the top's not growing, the roots will grow, and it'll grow nice. So what we'll do, and those of you that can't afford bonsai soil, because I know that it can be expensive, and in the wintertime I'll show you how to make soil, which I do. It's for, I mean, it depends what you want, but if you can't afford it, just go with the cactus mix. And that's what I'm doing now, so you can see that I'm just using the cactus mix on this. So what I'll do is I got the screen for this pot. I'm putting it in. I got my cactus mix here. Drop my water bottle. And let's put a little bit of soil in the bottom. Now what you do is you take and you hold your screen down and start putting your soil in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet it. Let's see if I get my spray gun, because this cactus soil is a little dry. And what I do, see, we still got a little bit more of a root mass here. I'm just taking it out. Getting all this soil out of there so we can spread the roots out and get rid of all the vertical growing roots and just have the, you want the radial roots. Now what you're going to do is a lot lot of roots growing on the top here. We'll get that off. Now, I don't edit my videos. What you see is what you get. I'm not good at editing or nothing like that, so if whatever mistakes I make, whatever blunders, you see them right here. Now look at this root system from Clint's trees. I mean, I get one-ins in the mail where you just get the stick and you're lucky if you get a root on there. Or two. But look how beautiful these roots are. I mean, this is simply a beautiful, beautiful root system. Now what I'm going to do, spread the roots out the best I can. And what's ever hanging over the pot, I'm just going to snip it. If and I can find my scissors, here they are. So what I'm going to do is just snip, snip, snip. I want you to be successful at bonsai. I know at our age we can't afford to be wasting money on plants that don't grow. But I'm telling you what, if you want a Crape Myrtle, go to Clint, because his plants are great. I mean, I can't believe the root system. Right now we're not worried about the front yet because we want this plant to grow some more. Get most of the roots in that we can. You take your cactus mix, take it out. Don't be afraid of wasting the soil because you want to get all the air pockets out. And what I'm going to do is take and jab in with the chopstick, and the reason why I'm doing that is to get most of the soil into the roots. Now, since this has fine roots too, you can use a bamboo skewer that you can get for cooking, and just poke away until you get most of the air pockets out that you can possibly do. And by doing that, your tree is going to be a little bit stronger in the pot. Now, it ain't going to be really strong yet until we get the soil good and soaked, good and wet. Yes, these trees are fantastic. I can't stress how much these trees are. They're so great for bonsai. I mean, you can literally cut them back and it'll grow. Oh yeah, I soda bottle homemade watering can. Drill a couple of 1/16 holes in there and you got it. Water it real good. Tuck it down with your fingers. Now I'm still high. My trunk is just even with the pot, if you can see it. And what I'm going to do is add some more cactus mix. Now don't forget to scour for rocks. When you take a walk, look for them. Just scavenge around. If you find a nice rock, grab it. If you're afraid about bugs or disease on the rock, just wash it with some bleach and water. Let it sit in a little bit of bleach and water. And then rinse it off real good with soap and water. And then rinse with clear water. And you'll have a nice rock that doesn't have any disease on it. Usually for sterilizing pot, it's a cup of bleach to like I think like 3 or 4 gallons of water. I'm not sure, but I do that and I sterilize my pots real good. They come out nice. Now since this is zone 6 to 10, which is 0 to -5 degrees, even though they say Chicago is like a 6, and then the outside area of Chicago is a 5, I consider this a 5 because our winters can get fierce. So what I'm going to do is this is going to stay out until it gets good and cold, until she goes real dormant. And once it goes dormant and it drops to like 20 degrees, then I'll bring it in the house and put it by a cold window. And from there it'll stay dormant and then grow for the spring. Now what I'm doing is whatever roots came up out of the ground, I'm just clipping them off. Now you got a nice little plant. And if you touch it, look at that. You don't need to wire it. Wiring is expensive. We grow trees the way it grows in nature. If you look, let me see if I can bring it over so you can see. When you do the grow and clip method, in the wintertime, I'm going to cut it just maybe above the node here and above here so it bushes out. And that way there, we'll get a better bushier plant and we'll get more flowers from it, from the new growth. Remember, new growth gives you the flowers. Very hardy tree. I overwinter my crepe myrtles in the basement where they just get light from the basement window. Now you can take a rock if you want to dress it up. Since that's a dark pot, let's see what kind of rocks I got. I can either do something like this. Just something plain and simple. That's all you need. Something plain and simple. Doesn't have to be fancy. I think this rock would be pretty good. And take a little bit more soil, put it around it so it looks like it's in the ground, not just sitting on top. And we'll give it a little squirt with our bottle here. Remember, you can make a watering can out of anything. This is an old dishwashing bottle. All you do is rinse it out real good and fill it up with water. And we're just gonna get it in real good. Now this is gonna go outside. I'm not gonna decorate it yet. Right now I want these roots to take off. And fall is a good time for roots to grow. Okay, so we have our little crepe myrtle, Pokemoke. This grows, I believe, 1 to 3 feet tall. And it's got always nice little leaves. Very nice little leaves. Now these are the suckers. So when I took the Pokemoke apart, I noticed that from the stem, I had little suckers growing out. And some of them were attached to the root. So what I did is just cut that root and just took that little sucker and I put it in the ground. And this was done on 6/14 of this year. And so far it looks pretty good. Now let's see if we got roots on this. Yes, we do. Let's take it apart. Being careful not to tear anything. I mean, look at this fantastic little roots, and this thing is still growing. Let me show you these roots on this. Nice root system. And this is just from a sucker. These are Clint's plants. I mean, I'm so fascinated with this guy's nursery stock. I'm going to try in the spring some other ones to bonsai and see the color on their flowers. Now this one, we can't put one in here. This I got at the dollar store. And what I did is I drilled the holes in there with a masonry bit. And it's just I don't know, it looks like plaster casting. But it's a cheap pot. If you see it, you like it, you can grow it. And then we can put our Crape Myrtle in there. Now this one, what I'm going to do is put it over here so the roots don't dry out. We can put it in. First we'll get some cactus mix. Got the drainage holes and everything in there. We'll spray it first before we use the watering can. I made a mistake keeping it there because you can't see what I'm doing. So what we're going to do is add a little more soil. And since it's growing this way and this way, it's going to be like a twin trunk. So we're going to spread the roots out. Now, if you don't have a bonsai pot, you got to make with what you can do. Whatever you find in a store, anything can be made into a bonsai pot as long as you got good draining soil, perlite, and like the cactus mix is real good for this. Now, since this has very small little roots, I'm just going to tap it in a little bit. Okay, spray bottle. And here we go. Now, seeing that I'm taking this in for the winter time, you don't have to worry about this thing cracking. I'm not going to make it real deep because I want this to look like it's just coming out of the pot real nice. Remove the cobwebs. Take your spoon. Put it in. A little more soil to dress it up. I'll take the ball on the end of the spoon to push in the soil. And there we go. And I need just a little more soil for the corners where the soil went down. And now I can take my little soap dish, wash off the pot, water it in real good. Take my paper towel, wipe it. And there we have it. firm it in. Now what I'm going to do is, I know you can get some of this sand. All stores sell it. And what I'm going to do is put it in the bottom for a little dressing, so when you look inside, you have a little something in there. It also promotes good drainage too as it goes through. But whatever imperfections are in the soil that I didn't fill in, the sand will fill up the holes. And keep your plant from getting any air pockets to destroy the roots. And there you have it. I'll give it a little bit more spray. And you're going to have a beautiful plant. Beautiful plant. Wipe it off so I can show you what it looks like. And I had some a pink pen, paint pen, so what I did is when the holes were drilled, I just colored the knockouts with the paint. But you can see, nice little bonsai tree. Pokemoke, beautiful little tree. Little sand in there. You got yourself a nice little tree, and it's going to grow for you. It's not going to die. Put this in here. You can use anything as a container. I used a fish food container, drilled a hole in the bottom, put a screen there, and I put a plant in there just to spruce things up. That's a ZZ plant, I believe it's called. Now, I run out of pots, so I'm going to have to get some pots later and put up these guys. What I'm going to do with my little plant that I just took out, so you can see the root system, I'm going to put it in here. But I just want to show you the roots are white, so that means they're still growing. This is the year to grow them. This is the time of the year everything's going to grow nice. I have to do my other Pokemoke, and I will repot that in another pot. So not to bore you any longer, my name's Tom Novak. I want to thank you for coming to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. I hope you enjoyed the video. And today's Friday night, it's dance night. So if you want to spruce up your music, try a little Duke Ellington or Louis Armstrong, have a cup of tea, push the tables on the side, go dance with your wife or your girlfriend, and just have a good time. Relax and have a cup of tea and listen to the music. So you take care. I thank you for coming. My name's Tom Novak for Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors.